Hey guys, this is Melissa with momsimplelife.com, and today we are going to be showing you how to build one of these trellis systems. This is modeled after the Mittleider Gardening system, and they also have in the new book how to build a T-frame like what we've already done in our pea garden. But this one is modeled after what I've seen photos, what they have at the Mittleider University campus. So it looked really nice, and I just wanted to try out basically how to build this one. So we use the same concepts that they have in the book on how to do this. So let's get building. So we have our 6-foot top header piece, which is a 4x4, all ready to have the 8-foot legs be put on. It's a 4x4. Right now we're going to actually add our hooks. You could probably use just the regular eye hooks. I use these because I would want to be able to take off my cord a little bit easier without having to undo it all the way. So you need to do it 4 inches from the end, and then your next one will be at 2 feet. So then you'll have a good amount of space in between your peas or your tomatoes, whatever it is, but this is where the top lines will go. So we're going to drill our holes, and this is a 1/8 bit, and I think these are 5/16. I'll get the package later. So you just kind of go in the middle after that, I have another one already set up. This is just one of those eye hooks. I'll take it out so you can see it. And then you just kind of stick it in. I basically stick it in here. I usually use a little bit bigger of an eye hook, but I ended up using all my eye hooks this year. So this is my biggest one that I have. So you just kind of want to start it a little bit here. And then go on the low. You don't want to go too high. And so that's how you put on your hooks on the front, on the top for your wire, for your trellis, or for your baler twine to hook onto. So you want to do this before you actually put the post in, because then it'll be so far up in the sky and you won't be able to get to it so well. Okay, so now it's time to sit there and come up with, this is going to be the supporting bracket on the side. So if I go up to my T-frame over here, you could see along the very top I have the supporting 2x4, which holds my PVC pipes for in the garden greenhouse. So we'll be making that next, because you want to make it on the ground instead of trying to drill it up in the air. So right now we have already made our line. Even though it's a 2x4, it's actually 3.5 inches in. So I just want something to show me, hey, there's going to be wood here on each end before I start putting my 3/4 PVC pipe. So I ended up just cutting like what you would see over here. There's like PVC pipes already cut to basically have the hoops go into here. So I've already pre-cut those, basically the width of my board, or as best as I can, and now it's just drilling them in. And then I'll be putting up a supporting piece in the middle here. It is this thing right here. So because I do a lot of this by myself, I just figured this time it'll be a lot easier if I have this, so then I can just slide the board in there and then it'll be secure. So that's what happens when you work separate shift as your significant other. Okay, so let's start measuring out here. Okay, so you'll have one PVC pipe adjustment, and I just cut my PVC pipes with one of these tools that you could get at like Home Depot or Lowe's or any like home improvement store that has plumbing. This is a 3/4 thin wall PVC pipe that I've already cut. So it'll be like this. So then we'll have to drill a hole in this. So then our screws could go into the PVC pipe. So I'll actually want to be doing like 2 holes down here, but leave enough space up here so the pipe could slide in. So we'll start doing that, and actually put all the writing usually on the inside too. So I have, this is my exterior screws here. I'm going to try to focus in on this. These are 2.5 inches long because we're using 2x4s. So this will be long enough to reach, get the wood and go through here. So we'll start doing that. Okay, just make sure you don't go too tight, because then you could crack the thing, but your pipe will go in here for your in the garden greenhouse. And then we'll go directly after you do your first one. I always do the middle one and then I work inwards. Okay, just make sure you don't go too far because it will start cracking this. Okay, and that's it, and that's not moving anywhere. And then now we'll have to go and find 2 more centers. After you find your center here, you'll actually need to divide this space up and add 2 more. If you want, you could add 3, but my hoops are so low, I'll show you my hoops real quick, that I really don't worry about like it being too windy. We don't get a lot of snow, but if you get a lot of snow, I'd probably put more hoops. But I don't know, I think we had like 1 inch of snow this year. So to me it wasn't that big of a deal not to add more PVC pipes to the top. So on these they have, let's see if I can see these, let me focus. So they have these little things that you could just basically pound into the wood to center it once you get it centered, and then you can put your screws. So I was just going to show you guys how that looks. So I got 1 screw in, and in order to get a hammer like right here, I just used the little stakes, and you just set it in there, and you just basically pound, and then it goes right on in, and it's held perfectly. So basically this is the bottom, so my board is just going to slide right in here, and then they have these like little lips here that will hold the screw, so you could angle screw it in there and it'll hold really well. So we'll sit there and finish this and see what it looks like. So that one's all screwed in. I just wanted to show you what it would be like. So then when you put your 2x4 in there, at least it will have a resting spot, and then you could drill your little holes. You see that little notch there, and then the screw will go right in, and then it'll be really secure. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys how I mirrored everything. So basically, if we zoom in here, you could see that it's mirrored, and the reason why you do that is because you'll have one being a left side, one being a right, and you want it to line up perfectly. So it'd be kind of like that, you know, once it's lined up all perfectly. So it just makes it easier when you're measuring things out. Instead of measuring both boards, you just have to mirror the other one. I should have paid attention to the outer and the inner. I didn't pay attention, I don't think, for this wood. Should have.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Either way, you're going to see it from either side. You're going to, at one point, you're going to look at it.
It's 6 feet long. This is going to be our cross joist in the middle to hold up the wire. And we got our multi-purpose galvanized wire here. This is a 12 gauge. I know you could do a 9 gauge, but since our thing isn't extremely long, we're just going to go with the 12 gauge and see how that works. And same thing, you need to do 4 and 24 inches, and then you flip it around and you do 4 and then 24 inches. It needs to be the same measurement as here, and you just drill a bigger hole than the actual wire, so the wire can go straight through this board like this, and it'll just sit in the middle. So we're going to do the same measurements all the way down, and then this will be our middle piece. over at the university where you could do the boot camp and stuff, they were showing a frame just like this. But we used the same concept, so what they have in the book, just made it more square. So at least on this one, we only had to dig 4 holes versus when we did our traditional in the house or in the garden greenhouse, we had to do 6 holes. So just do the garden. So when we had to do in the house greenhouse for our peas, we did the regular T-frame, and then you ended up having to do the two 2x4s on each side, so then it would be able to hold it up pretty well without knocking it over. What was that?
It's my phone.
Oh, okay. So we wanted to sit there and see if this one would be a lot easier to build, and it seems like it's a lot more stable and a lot more easier to build the new frame. So far, yeah, I really like the way it looks, and I like how it seems a lot more stable. So now we just have to sit there and build, which will show a different video on how to actually do the hoops for the top of the actual greenhouse.